Have you ever wondered why some people seem to thrive no matter the circumstances, while others struggle to stay afloat, even in good times? What sets them apart? The answer often lies in their mindset, their ability to cultivate a positive way of thinking no matter what life throws at them. A positive mindset isn't just about being optimistic or looking on the bright side. It's about consciously shaping your thoughts, behaviors, and habits in a way that encourages personal growth, resilience, and long-term success. In Positive Mind, Develop Habits for Personal Growth, we'll explore the transformative power of a positive mindset and how it can guide you toward becoming the best version of yourself. You'll discover practical strategies for shifting your thinking, building empowering habits, and overcoming challenges with confidence. This book is designed to walk you through a progressive journey to cultivate a mindset that fosters growth, both personally and professionally. Ready to begin? Let's dive in. Chapter 1: Laying the Foundation. The Power of a Positive Mindset. A positive mindset can seem like a simple idea, but its power is profound. Have you ever noticed how your outlook on life can shape your experiences? For instance, when you approach a difficult situation with a sense of hope or possibility, you're more likely to see opportunities for growth. On the other hand, when you face challenges with a negative mindset, you may find yourself stuck in frustration or defeat. The key to personal growth lies in the way we think, our mindset. In this chapter, we'll explore the importance of a positive mindset and how it can lay the foundation for everything you want to achieve in life. A positive mindset is not about denying reality or pretending that everything is perfect. Instead, it's about choosing how you respond to life's ups and downs. Life will always have its challenges, and setbacks are inevitable. However, by adopting a positive mindset, you can reframe those challenges as opportunities for learning and growth, rather than roadblocks. Your thoughts and beliefs about yourself, others, and the world around you shape your experiences in powerful ways. Therefore, shifting to a more positive outlook can lead to more success, fulfillment, and resilience over time. Take, for example, Sarah, a woman who has always dreamed of starting her own business. At first, Sarah was hesitant. She had doubts about her abilities and feared failure. However, she realized that her negative thoughts were holding her back. Instead of focusing on the possibility of failure, she began to reframe her thinking. She started to see obstacles as stepping stones and believed that each challenge was a chance to learn and grow. By changing her mindset, Sarah was able to push through her fears and launch her business. Today, her company is thriving, and she attributes much of her success to the shift in her mindset. This shift from a negative to a positive mindset doesn't happen overnight. It requires practice, commitment, and awareness. It's easy to get stuck in negative thought patterns, especially when life feels difficult. But every time you choose to focus on the positive, you're training your mind to become more resilient and solution-oriented. The good news is that anyone can develop a positive mindset, no matter where they start. It's a skill that can be cultivated with time and effort, and once it's in place, it becomes a powerful tool for personal growth. One of the first steps in developing a positive mindset is understanding the concept of mindset itself. Your mindset is essentially the lens through which you view the world. It's shaped by your beliefs, experiences, and the way you interpret situations. There are two primary types of mindsets: a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities and intelligence are static. They see challenges as threats and are often afraid of failure. On the other hand, those with a growth mindset believe that abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. They view challenges as opportunities to improve and are more likely to take risks, try new things, and keep going despite setbacks. Carol Dweck, a psychologist at Stanford University, is famous for her research on mindset. Her work shows that a growth mindset leads to greater success in all areas of life, from academics to personal relationships to business. When you adopt a growth mindset, you see every experience as a chance to develop and become better. This attitude shifts your focus from what you can't do to what you can learn. With practice, this perspective can help you approach life with confidence and resilience. In addition to adopting a growth mindset, it's important to develop self-awareness. the ability to recognize your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Self-awareness allows you to identify when you're slipping into negative thinking patterns and make a conscious choice to shift your focus. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," pause and ask yourself, "What can I learn from this situation?" Or, "What's one small step I can take to move forward?" By actively redirecting your thoughts, you begin to rewire your brain toward positivity and growth. Here's another example. Mark had always struggled with public speaking. He would get nervous before every presentation, focusing on all the things that could go wrong. But one day, he decided to try something different. Instead of dreading the upcoming speech, Mark began to reframe the situation. He focused on the opportunity to connect with his audience and share something valuable. He reminded himself that even if he stumbled, he could learn from the experience and improve next time. By shifting his mindset, Mark not only became more confident, but also started to enjoy public speaking. His mindset shift helped him perform better too, because he was no longer consumed by fear of failure. A positive mindset can also impact your relationships. When you approach your interactions with a positive outlook, you're more likely to attract positive people into your life. You'll also be more patient, understanding, and empathetic, which helps you build stronger, more supportive connections. Conversely, a negative mindset can create barriers in relationships. If you constantly focus on what's wrong or what's missing, you may find yourself isolated or disconnected from others. A positive mindset helps you approach relationships with an open heart and a willingness to grow together. The benefits of a positive mindset are far-reaching. Not only does it improve your emotional well-being, but it also enhances your physical health. Studies have shown that people with positive attitudes tend to experience less stress, lower levels of depression, and better overall health. This is because a positive mindset encourages healthy habits, such as exercise, good nutrition, and effective stress management. It also helps you bounce back more quickly from setbacks and challenges, which is crucial for maintaining long-term well-being. So how can you begin to cultivate a positive mindset in your own life? Start by becoming aware of your thoughts. Notice when you're focusing on the negative and ask yourself if that thought is serving you. Next, practice reframing your thinking. Challenge yourself to find one positive aspect in every situation, no matter how small. This doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. It's about shifting your focus to what you can control and how you can grow from each experience. Over time, you'll find that your positive mindset becomes more natural and automatic. To help you start the process, here's a simple exercise to practice. For the next week, keep a journal where you write down one positive thing you experienced each day. It could be something small, like a good conversation, a personal achievement, or even just a moment of peace. As you reflect on these positive moments, notice how your mindset begins to shift. Do you feel more hopeful, more resilient? This exercise will help train your brain to focus on the positive, and with regular practice, it will become a powerful habit. Reflect on this question as you continue your journey toward a positive mindset. How would your life change if you started each day with the belief that challenges are opportunities for growth? Take some time to write down your thoughts and reflect on how you can apply this mindset shift in the days ahead. This is the first step in building the foundation for personal growth, and with each small shift in thinking, you'll be one step closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Remember, developing a positive mindset is a journey, not a destination. It takes time, effort, and consistency. But with each small change, you'll begin to see the world through a new lens, one that's filled with possibility, hope, and the promise of growth. The power to change your life is already within you. All it takes is the willingness to take the first step. Chapter 2: Shifting Perspectives. How to transform negative thoughts. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, "I'm just not good enough," or "this will never work"? These negative thoughts are common and, unfortunately, they tend to hold us back in life. But what if we told you that the way you think about yourself and your circumstances doesn't have to define your reality? What if you could train your mind to shift away from self-limiting thoughts and replace them with empowering ones? In this chapter, we'll explore how to recognize negative thinking patterns and how to consciously transform them into thoughts that support your growth and success. The human mind is naturally inclined to focus on the negative. This tendency is known as negativity bias, a concept that suggests our brains are wired to pay more attention to negative events or emotions than to positive ones. While this was once helpful in keeping our ancestors alert to danger, it can become a hurdle in modern life. Negative thoughts about ourselves or our situations often lead to self-doubt, anxiety, and stress. But just because these thoughts come up doesn't mean we have to accept them as truth. The key is learning how to change them. One of the most effective ways to transform negative thoughts is through a technique called cognitive reframing. This involves changing the way you view a situation by shifting your perspective. Instead of seeing obstacles as barriers, you can start to see them as opportunities for growth. Reframing helps you challenge the automatic negative thoughts that often come up in difficult situations. By choosing a more positive or constructive way of thinking, you can change the impact these thoughts have on your emotions and actions. Let's consider an example. Meet James, a young man who has always struggled with public speaking. Whenever he's asked to speak in front of a group, his mind is flooded with thoughts like, "I'm going to mess up," or "I'll embarrass myself." These thoughts leave him feeling anxious and inadequate. However, after learning about cognitive reframing, James began to change the way he viewed public speaking. Instead of focusing on the fear of failure, he started to reframe his thoughts to say, "I have something valuable to share," or "I can learn from each experience." With this new mindset, James was able to approach public speaking with more confidence. He still felt nervous at times, but he now saw his nerves as a natural part of the process, not a sign of impending failure. Reframing negative thoughts is an essential skill for personal growth because it empowers you to take control of your inner dialogue. The more you practice this technique, the easier it becomes to notice when negative thoughts arise and quickly shift them to more positive, productive ones. This doesn't mean that negative thoughts will disappear altogether, but it does mean that you'll be better equipped to manage them and avoid letting them control your behavior or emotions. It's also important to understand that shifting your perspective isn't about suppressing negative emotions or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about recognizing that you have the ability to choose how to respond to those emotions. For example, if you're feeling anxious about an upcoming event, instead of thinking, "I'm going to fail," try to shift your thinking to, "I might feel nervous, but I can handle it," or "I can prepare and do my best." This subtle shift can change how you feel and how you act in a way that leads to a more positive outcome. Let's look at another example. Rachel, a college student, was struggling with her grades in a difficult class. She often thought, "I'm just not smart enough for this." This negative thought was not only discouraging but also kept her from seeking help or putting in more effort. After reflecting on her mindset, Rachel realized that her belief in her lack of intelligence was based on a past experience where she didn't do well on a test. Instead of letting this single moment define her abilities, Rachel reframed her thinking to, "I didn't do well on that test, but I can improve with more practice and effort." This new perspective gave her the motivation to ask for help, study harder, and ultimately perform better in the class. By shifting her perspective, Rachel was able to break free from a cycle of self-doubt and take more proactive steps toward her success. The power of shifting perspectives lies in its ability to change your emotional response and, in turn, your actions. When you consistently replace negative thoughts with more empowering ones, you create a mental environment that supports growth and progress. Rather than getting stuck in feelings of helplessness or fear, you begin to see challenges as opportunities to learn and develop. Over time, this shift in thinking will lead to greater confidence, resilience, and a stronger sense of self-efficacy. The next step in transforming negative thoughts is becoming aware of your automatic thinking patterns. This requires mindfulness, being present with your thoughts without judgment. When you're able to notice negative thoughts as they arise, you can choose to respond to them in a way that aligns with your desired mindset. This level of awareness doesn't come overnight, but with consistent practice, you'll find that you can shift your perspective more quickly and more effectively. A simple yet powerful exercise to help with this is keeping a thought journal. Each day, write down any negative or self-limiting thoughts you had and then reframe them. For example, if you wrote, "I can't handle this project," try reframing it as, "This project is challenging, but I am capable of figuring it out." By regularly practicing this exercise, you train your brain to automatically look for more positive, empowering perspectives. As you continue to practice shifting your perspective, it's important to be patient with yourself. Changing the way you think takes time, and there will be moments when old patterns resurface. The goal is not to eliminate negative thoughts completely, but to become more skilled at transforming them when they arise. Each time you practice reframing, you're building a habit that will serve you in all areas of your life. Practical exercise. Over the next week, pay close attention to your negative thoughts. Whenever you catch yourself thinking something limiting or self-critical, pause and reframe it. For example, if you think, "I'll never get this right," shift to, "I am learning, and I'll improve with practice." Write down these thoughts and reframes in your journal and reflect on how they affect your emotions and actions. Notice how your perspective shifts over time and how it impacts your sense of confidence and motivation. With consistent practice, you'll find that transforming negative thoughts becomes second nature, and you'll be well on your way to developing a mindset that supports your personal growth. By the end of this chapter, you'll have gained the tools to recognize negative thinking patterns and transform them into empowering ones. This skill is essential not only for overcoming challenges, but also for creating the life you truly want. Chapter 3: Cultivating Gratitude, the Key to Unlocking Growth. Have you ever paused to think about all the things you have to be grateful for? It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of daily life, focusing on what's going wrong or what's still missing. But what if the key to unlocking personal growth, happiness, and resilience lies not in chasing more, but in appreciating what you already have? In this chapter, we'll explore the transformative power of gratitude and how it can serve as a foundation for positive change in your life. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you when someone does something kind for you. It's an attitude, a mindset that shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in your life. Research shows that practicing gratitude can have profound effects on both your mental and physical well-being. Studies have found that people who regularly express gratitude experience less stress, sleep better, and feel more optimistic about their lives. When we focus on the positives, it's as if we train our minds to seek out and appreciate the good, making us more resilient and better equipped to handle challenges. But the power of gratitude extends far beyond just improving mood or well-being. When you actively cultivate a sense of gratitude, you shift your perspective in a way that opens you up to new possibilities. Imagine being in a challenging situation, whether at work, in your relationships, or in personal goals. It's easy to focus on what's not working or what you've yet to achieve. However, when you shift your focus to what's going well and what you're thankful for, you begin to see the silver lining even in difficult circumstances. Gratitude doesn't erase problems, but it helps you view them from a place of strength and hope. Take the example of Clara, a woman who faced significant challenges at work. She had been passed over for a promotion she thought she deserved, and she felt frustrated and discouraged. For days, she focused on the unfairness of the situation, growing resentful and disheartened. One evening, her friend suggested that she try keeping a gratitude journal, simply jotting down 3 things she was grateful for each day. Initially, Clara was skeptical. How could a simple exercise change her outlook? But she decided to give it a try. At first, she wrote down basic things like, "I'm grateful for my health," or "I'm grateful for a roof over my head." But over time, she began to notice deeper things to be thankful for. The support of her colleagues, the opportunity to learn new skills, the sense of fulfillment she got from her work. Slowly, Clara's perspective shifted. She began to see her job not as a source of frustration, but as an opportunity for growth. With this renewed outlook, she approached her work with more enthusiasm and confidence, eventually landing a new role that was even better than the promotion she had originally wanted. Clara's experience highlights an important truth about gratitude. It's not just about acknowledging what's good in your life. It's about training your brain to recognize the good that already exists, no matter how small. This practice helps to reshape the way you interact with the world and positions you for success, both personally and professionally. Gratitude creates a sense of abundance, and when you operate from a place of abundance, you're more likely to attract even more opportunities, success, and happiness. In a world that often feels rushed and results-driven, it's easy to overlook the value of simply being thankful. However, incorporating gratitude into your daily routine can have a profound impact on your overall mindset. One of the easiest ways to practice gratitude is by starting and ending your day with a moment of reflection. Take 5 minutes each morning to think about what you're grateful for, and then do the same at night. It could be as simple as being grateful for a peaceful morning or the kindness of a friend. These small moments of gratitude add up over time and can shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Another powerful way to practice gratitude is by expressing it to others. When was the last time you truly expressed your appreciation for someone in your life? Whether it's a family member, a colleague, or a friend, taking the time to thank someone for their support or kindness not only strengthens your relationship with that person, but it also reinforces your own sense of gratitude. Gratitude, when shared, becomes even more powerful. Now let's consider a simple exercise to begin cultivating gratitude in your own life. Take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for right now. They could be anything, from the warmth of your home to a meaningful conversation you had with a friend. As you reflect, try to really feel the appreciation in your heart. Notice how your mood shifts when you focus on the good things in your life. For a more structured approach, you could keep a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how big or small. This practice helps you become more aware of the abundance in your life and trains your brain to seek out the positive. Over time, you'll notice that your mindset shifts, and you'll begin to see opportunities for growth where you once saw only obstacles. Here's a reflective question for you to consider. How might your life change if you focused on gratitude every day? Think about the small moments you often overlook. How could they become sources of strength, motivation, or joy? Reflecting on these questions can help you see how incorporating gratitude into your life could lead to more fulfillment, peace, and growth. As you continue on your personal growth journey, remember that gratitude is not a one-time fix. It's a practice that requires consistent effort. But by cultivating a mindset of gratitude, you'll create a powerful foundation for positive change. You'll unlock new levels of resilience, happiness, and success, all by simply learning to appreciate what you have. Chapter 4. Building Resilience, Embracing Challenges as Opportunities. Life is full of ups and downs. One minute, everything seems to be going smoothly, and the next, you're faced with a challenge that feels overwhelming. Whether it's dealing with a difficult personal situation, facing a setback at work, or encountering obstacles in your personal growth, challenges are inevitable. But how you respond to these challenges, whether you see them as roadblocks or stepping stones, can make all the difference. In this chapter, we'll explore the importance of resilience and how embracing challenges with a growth mindset can propel you forward. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, adapt to change, and keep moving forward despite setbacks. It's not about avoiding difficulties or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. Rather, resilience is about facing life's challenges with the belief that you can handle them, learn from them, and ultimately grow stronger as a result. It's the difference between seeing failure as the end of the road and seeing it as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and try again. One of the most powerful ways to build resilience is by changing how we view challenges. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that when things go wrong, it's a sign that we're not capable or that something is fundamentally wrong with us. However, resilient people don't view challenges this way. Instead, they see challenges as part of the journey, a necessary and inevitable aspect of growth. They understand that setbacks are temporary, and that perseverance, learning, and a positive attitude will eventually lead to success. Take the story of Adam, for instance. Adam had always dreamed of becoming a professional musician. He worked tirelessly for years, perfecting his craft and performing at small gigs. But when he finally landed a big opportunity to perform at a renowned music festival, disaster struck. On the night of his performance, the sound equipment malfunctioned, and he was unable to deliver the performance he had prepared for. Adam felt devastated. All of his hard work seemed to have come to nothing. But instead of allowing this failure to define him, Adam chose to see it as a challenge that could help him grow. Rather than quitting music altogether, he took the time to evaluate what had gone wrong, learn from the experience, and prepare even better for future performances. He embraced the setback, worked through his frustration, and used it to fuel his growth. Eventually, Adam's resilience paid off, and he went on to become a sought-after performer, more confident and capable than before. Adam's story illustrates an essential point. Resilience doesn't come from avoiding failure or setbacks. It comes from learning how to respond to them. Resilient people don't see challenges as personal shortcomings or reasons to give up. Instead, they understand that every obstacle is an opportunity to build strength, develop new skills, and gain valuable experience. Another key component of resilience is self-compassion. When we face difficulties, it's easy to be hard on ourselves, criticizing our mistakes and wondering why we aren't doing better. However, self-compassion is about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a close friend. When you encounter a challenge or failure, instead of beating yourself up, you can choose to acknowledge the difficulty and respond with self-kindness. This doesn't mean making excuses for yourself or avoiding accountability. It means recognizing that you are human and that mistakes are a natural part of the learning process. Maria, a young woman in her late 20s, faced a significant personal challenge when she lost her job unexpectedly. Maria had always prided herself on her work ethic, so this loss felt like a personal blow to her self-worth. In the past, she would have blamed herself for not doing enough or tried to push herself harder in response. But this time, Maria decided to practice self-compassion. She allowed herself to feel upset, but instead of criticizing herself, she gave herself permission to grieve the loss and then take action to move forward. Maria reached out to her network, updated her resume, and even enrolled in a course to improve her skills. She understood that losing her job wasn't a reflection of her value as a person, but rather a temporary setback in her career. By practicing self-compassion, she was able to stay focused, resilient, and eventually land a new job that was a better fit for her goals and values. The concept of self-compassion ties directly into building resilience because it encourages us to be patient with ourselves during difficult times. When we're kind to ourselves, we reduce the emotional toll of setbacks, allowing us to bounce back more quickly and stay motivated to keep going. Instead of staying stuck in negative emotions or self-doubt, we can channel our energy into learning and growing from the experience. So, how can you begin to build more resilience in your own life? The first step is to reframe your view of challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as threats, start to see them as opportunities to learn and grow. Remember, resilience isn't about avoiding difficulties. It's about developing the ability to face them with strength, patience, and optimism. Another important step is to practice self-compassion. When you encounter setbacks or face challenges, treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Allow yourself to make mistakes and learn from them, knowing that growth is a process, not an event. Lastly, remember that resilience is a skill, and like any skill, it takes time and practice to develop. You won't become resilient overnight, but with each challenge you face, you'll have the opportunity to strengthen your resilience muscles. The more you embrace challenges as part of the journey, the more resilient you'll become, and the more confident you'll feel in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Reflect on the challenges you've faced in your life. How have you responded to them? Have you seen them as obstacles to overcome, or have you used them as opportunities for growth? The next time you encounter a challenge, take a moment to pause and think about how you can shift your perspective. How can you view this challenge as an opportunity to learn and grow? What steps can you take to build your resilience and keep moving forward? By embracing challenges with a mindset of growth, you'll be well on your way to developing the resilience that is essential for lasting personal growth. Chapter 5: Daily Habits for a Positive Life. Small changes, big results. Have you ever wondered how some people seem to stay consistently positive, even on their toughest days? What's their secret? The truth is, their positive mindset isn't just a result of luck or inherent personality traits. It's the result of habits, small, consistent actions they take each day to cultivate a positive outlook on life. In this chapter, we'll explore the powerful impact of daily habits and how small changes in your routine can lead to big shifts in your mindset and overall well-being. Habits are the foundation of our daily lives. They shape the way we think, the way we act, and the way we feel. Research shows that around 40% of our daily actions are habitual, meaning we're often on autopilot, repeating the same behaviors day after day without even thinking about it. Some of these habits are positive, like exercising regularly or practicing gratitude, while others may be negative, like procrastinating or focusing on the worst-case scenarios. The good news is that by intentionally cultivating positive habits, you can reprogram your mind and set yourself up for long-term success and happiness. One of the most powerful habits you can develop is the practice of starting each day with intention. How you begin your day often sets the tone for everything that follows. If you wake up feeling rushed, stressed, or overwhelmed, it's easy for negative thoughts to take over. However, if you make a conscious effort to start your day with a positive mindset, you're more likely to carry that energy throughout the rest of the day. Simple actions like taking a few moments to stretch, meditate, or reflect on what you're grateful for can shift your focus and help you approach the day with a sense of calm and clarity. Take the example of Mia, who had always struggled with starting her days on a positive note. She used to wake up feeling anxious about her to-do list, which often led to stress and frustration. One day, she decided to try something different. Instead of jumping straight into work, she made it a point to spend the first 5 minutes of her morning reflecting on the things she was grateful for. Whether it was the support of her friends, the opportunity to learn something new, or just a good cup of coffee, she took time to appreciate the little things. Over time, this simple habit transformed Mia's mornings. She noticed that when she started her day with gratitude, she felt more focused, more productive, and less overwhelmed. By shifting the way she began her day, Mia was able to set a positive tone for everything that followed. Another powerful habit to cultivate is the practice of mindfulness throughout the day. Mindfulness is the art of being present in the moment, rather than letting your mind wander into worries about the past or the future. By focusing your attention on the here and now, you can reduce stress, increase your sense of peace, and improve your overall mental health. Mindfulness doesn't require hours of meditation. It can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths when you're feeling stressed, paying attention to the sensations in your body, or savoring a meal without distractions. For example, let's look at Ben, a busy professional who was constantly juggling deadlines and meetings. He often felt overwhelmed by his schedule, but he decided to incorporate small moments of mindfulness into his day. During his lunch break, instead of checking his phone or eating while working, he took 10 minutes to simply enjoy his meal, focusing on the taste, the textures, and the experience. Ben also practiced mindfulness during his daily commute, paying attention to the sights and sounds around him rather than worrying about the day ahead. These small practices helped Ben feel more grounded and less stressed, even on his busiest days. Another important habit to develop is the practice of positive self-talk. We are often our own harshest critics, and negative self-talk can undermine our confidence and sabotage our efforts. By becoming aware of the way we speak to ourselves, we can begin to replace self-criticism with self-encouragement. Positive self-talk doesn't mean ignoring your flaws or pretending everything is perfect, but rather focusing on your strengths and potential. When you catch yourself thinking negative thoughts like, "I can't do this," or "I'm not good enough," try to reframe those thoughts by saying, "I am capable," or "I have the skills to learn and improve." Take Rachel, for example. She had always struggled with self-doubt, especially when it came to pursuing her career goals. Whenever she faced a challenge, her inner voice would tell her she wasn't good enough, or that she would fail. But after learning about the power of positive self-talk, Rachel decided to change her mindset. When she started to feel self-doubt creeping in, she made a conscious effort to replace those negative thoughts with affirmations of her capabilities. Over time, this shift in thinking gave Rachel the confidence to take on new challenges, ask for opportunities at work, and pursue her goals with determination. One of the final daily habits that can have a profound impact on your mindset is the practice of self-care. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being is essential for maintaining a positive outlook. Self-care doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It can be as simple as getting enough sleep, eating nourishing foods, exercising, or setting aside time to relax. By prioritizing self-care, you're not only improving your health, but you're also sending a message to yourself that you're worthy of love and attention. Consider the example of Carlos, a man who was constantly busy with work and family responsibilities. He often neglected his own needs, which led to burnout and frustration. After recognizing the importance of self-care, Carlos made small adjustments to his daily routine. He started waking up a little earlier to exercise, carving out time each evening to read a book, and setting boundaries to protect his downtime. These small acts of self-care helped Carlos feel more energized, focused, and balanced, which ultimately improved his overall well-being and his ability to show up for the people and tasks that mattered most. As you can see, these daily habits are simple, but they can have a profound impact on your mindset and your life. The key is consistency. By making small, positive changes to your routine, you can create lasting shifts in your mindset and overall well-being. The habits you cultivate today will shape the person you become tomorrow. Now, let's put these ideas into practice. For the next week, choose one of the habits discussed in this chapter to incorporate into your daily routine. Whether it's starting your day with gratitude, practicing mindfulness, engaging in positive self-talk, or prioritizing self-care, commit to making this habit a consistent part of your life. At the end of the week, take a moment to reflect on how this habit has impacted your mindset and well-being. How did it make you feel? What changes did you notice? Use this reflection to reinforce the habit and make it a permanent part of your life moving forward. By making small, intentional changes to your daily routine, you'll be well on your way to cultivating a positive mindset that supports your personal growth and success. Chapter 6: Overcoming Self-Doubt. Developing confidence in yourself. Have you ever found yourself questioning your abilities or wondering whether you're good enough to achieve your goals? Maybe you've stood at the edge of an opportunity, only to hold back because of the fear that you might fail. If you've ever struggled with self-doubt, you're not alone. Everyone experiences it at some point, but the key to success lies not in avoiding self-doubt, but in learning how to overcome it. In this chapter, we'll explore how you can develop the confidence you need to take bold steps forward in life and stop letting doubt hold you back. Self-doubt is a natural human feeling. It's that inner voice that questions your decisions, undermines your abilities, and tries to convince you that you're not enough. This voice often surfaces when you're faced with a challenge, a new opportunity, or a significant change. While it's perfectly normal to experience self-doubt, it's important not to let it control your actions. The key is to understand that self-doubt is not an accurate reflection of your true potential. It's merely a feeling, and like all feelings, it can be managed and overcome. One of the first steps in overcoming self-doubt is recognizing that it's not an enemy, but a signal. Self-doubt often arises when you step outside of your comfort zone or face something new. It's your mind's way of trying to protect you from what it perceives as a threat. However, most of the time that threat isn't real. It's simply your fear of failure or the unknown. By acknowledging that self-doubt is a natural part of growth and change, you can begin to shift your mindset and view it as an opportunity to build confidence rather than a barrier to success. Consider the story of Sophie, a young woman who had always dreamed of starting her own blog. She had a passion for writing and wanted to share her ideas with the world, but every time she sat down to write, self-doubt would creep in. Who's going to read this? She would think. What if they don't like it? These thoughts left her feeling paralyzed, and she put off starting her blog for months. One day, Sophie realized that her self-doubt was keeping her stuck. She had to make a choice, either continue to let fear control her or face her doubts and move forward. Sophie decided to take small steps toward her goal. Instead of worrying about whether her blog would be perfect, she focused on writing her first post. She told herself that it didn't need to be flawless, it just needed to be authentic. Over time, as she published more posts and received positive feedback, Sophie's confidence grew. She realized that the act of doing, rather than overthinking, was the key to overcoming her doubts. Sophie's experience highlights an important truth. Confidence doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment or eliminating all doubts. It comes from taking action in spite of those doubts. The more you push yourself to take action, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable, competent, and worthy of success. Each time you face your self-doubt head-on, you build a stronger sense of confidence that propels you forward. Another essential concept in building confidence is self-compassion. When you doubt yourself, it's easy to become overly critical. You may focus on your perceived weaknesses or mistakes, and the more you criticize yourself, the less confident you feel. However, self-compassion is about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend. Instead of berating yourself for making mistakes, you learn to be gentle with yourself, acknowledging that mistakes are part of the learning process. When you practice self-compassion, you create a supportive inner environment that nurtures your confidence and resilience. Let's look at David's story to illustrate this further. David had always struggled with self-doubt, especially when it came to his career. He had been promoted to a managerial position, but every time he had to make a tough decision, he questioned whether he was capable. What if I make the wrong choice, he wondered. What if they think I'm not good enough for this role? These thoughts kept him on edge, and he was often paralyzed by indecision. But one day, David decided to try something different. Instead of focusing on his fear of making mistakes, he began practicing self-compassion. He reminded himself that no one is perfect, and that he was in the position because of his skills, experience, and potential. David started to approach each decision with a mindset of growth, rather than perfection. Over time, his confidence grew, and he became a more effective leader, knowing that his value wasn't defined by his occasional missteps, but by his ability to learn and grow from them. David's story reinforces the idea that confidence is built not through perfection, but through self-compassion and action. When you accept yourself as a work in progress, when you recognize that doubts and mistakes are part of the journey, you free yourself from the pressure of needing to be perfect. And in doing so, you create the space to grow, learn, and succeed. So how do you begin to develop more confidence in yourself? Start by taking small actions, even if they're just baby steps. Every time you move forward despite feeling unsure or afraid, you prove to yourself that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. And importantly, remember to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when doubts arise, and remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes. It's how you learn. Exercise. Think of a situation where you've been holding back because of self-doubt. Perhaps there's a goal you've been avoiding, a conversation you've been putting off, or a risk you've been hesitant to take. Now, ask yourself, what would it look like if I took one small step forward, even if I'm still unsure? What would I do if I weren't afraid of making mistakes or failing? Write down your answers, and then take one action, no matter how small, toward facing that self-doubt. By the end of the day, reflect on how you feel. Did you surprise yourself with your own ability to overcome doubt? How did that small step impact your confidence? Chapter 7. The Art of Patience, Trusting the Process of Growth. Have you ever set a goal and felt frustrated because it wasn't happening as quickly as you expected? Whether you're working toward personal growth, a career milestone, or a new habit, the path to success often feels like a slow and winding road. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't moving as fast as you'd like. But what if the key to achieving your goals lies in cultivating patience? In this chapter, we'll explore why patience is essential for long-term success and how trusting the process of growth can lead to lasting change. Patience is often seen as a virtue, but in the fast-paced world we live in, it's not always easy to practice. We're accustomed to instant gratification, the idea that we should get what we want when we want it. With the convenience of technology and social media, it's easy to feel like success should be immediate. But real, sustainable growth doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and persistence. Patience is the ability to remain calm and committed to your goals, even when progress feels slow. It's about trusting that the work you're putting in today will pay off in the future, even if the results aren't visible yet. One of the main reasons why patience is so important for growth is that it allows you to build a solid foundation. When you rush the process, you may miss crucial steps or make mistakes that could have been avoided with more careful consideration. Growth, whether personal or professional, requires time to develop skills, gain experience, and make meaningful connections. Think of it like planting a seed in the ground. If you constantly dig it up to see if it's growing, you'll disrupt the process and stunt its development. But if you water it consistently, give it sunlight, and trust that it's growing beneath the surface, eventually, you'll see the fruits of your labor. Let's consider the example of Daniel, a young man who decided to pursue a career in writing. Daniel had always dreamed of becoming an author, but after he finished his first book, he found himself feeling impatient. He submitted it to several publishers, but each rejection letter left him feeling discouraged. He began to doubt whether he was cut out for writing. However, Daniel realized that his impatience was only adding to his frustration. Instead of focusing on the rejections, he chose to see them as a normal part of the process. He started to focus on improving his craft, taking writing workshops, and reading books on the art of storytelling. Over time, Daniel's writing improved, and he built a portfolio of work. Eventually, one of his stories was accepted by a publisher, and it became the first of many published works. Daniel's success didn't happen overnight, but by practicing patience and trusting in the process, he was able to achieve his dream. Daniel's experience shows how patience can turn setbacks into stepping stones. When we trust the process, we stop fixating on immediate results and focus on the long-term journey. This shift in perspective helps us stay motivated even when we don't see immediate rewards. Instead of feeling frustrated, we learn to appreciate the small victories along the way, the lessons, the growth, and the incremental progress that are all part of the larger picture. One of the challenges of practicing patience is managing our expectations. When we set big goals, it's natural to want to see results quickly. But growth often comes in waves, and not every day will feel like a breakthrough. Sometimes, progress is slow and steady, like a river slowly carving through rock. It's not always obvious, but the changes are happening beneath the surface. The key is to stay consistent, even when the results aren't immediately visible. This requires a mindset shift from expecting instant success to embracing the process of gradual improvement. Take the example of Sarah, a woman who wanted to lose weight and get healthier. At first, she was excited and motivated to start her fitness journey. She worked out regularly, ate healthy foods, and tracked her progress. But after a few weeks, the scale barely budged, and Sarah felt discouraged. She considered giving up, but then she reminded herself that the process of getting healthy wasn't just about the numbers on the scale. It was about building habits that would lead to long-term results. Instead of focusing on immediate outcomes, Sarah chose to celebrate the small victories, getting stronger with each workout, feeling more energized, and developing a healthier relationship with food. Over time, Sarah's patience paid off, and the weight loss came naturally as a result of her consistent efforts. Sarah's story illustrates an important point. When we shift our focus from quick results to steady progress, we're able to stay motivated and remain on track. The key to achieving any long-term goal is to trust the process and have faith that with time, your efforts will lead to success. Incorporating patience into your daily life doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for things to happen. Patience is about consistent, focused action. It's about showing up every day, even when the results aren't immediately obvious. It's about trusting that the work you're doing now is laying the groundwork for your future success. By practicing patience, you build resilience and strength, learning to navigate setbacks and challenges with grace and determination. So, how can you start practicing patience in your own life? Begin by reflecting on a goal or project you're currently working on. Are you feeling impatient because things aren't progressing as quickly as you'd like? If so, take a moment to remind yourself that growth takes time. Reflect on the progress you've made so far, no matter how small, and appreciate the effort you've put in. Consider the lessons you've learned along the way and recognize that each step, no matter how incremental, is moving you closer to your goal. Instead of focusing on the end result, ask yourself how you can continue to make steady progress, trusting that your patience will eventually pay off. Patience is a powerful tool for success, and by practicing it daily, you'll develop the resilience and perseverance needed to achieve your goals. Embrace the journey, trust the process, and celebrate the small wins along the way. Your future self will thank you for it. Chapter 8: The Power of Persistence. Keeping going when it gets tough. Have you ever been close to giving up on a goal or a dream because things weren't going the way you had planned? Maybe you faced setbacks, felt discouraged, or even wondered if all the effort was worth it. It's easy to feel defeated when progress isn't as fast as you hoped, or when you encounter obstacles along the way. But what if the key to success isn't talent or luck, but something much simpler: persistence? In this chapter, we'll explore the power of persistence and how developing this trait can help you achieve your goals, even when the road gets tough. Persistence is the ability to keep going, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. It's the refusal to give up when faced with challenges, setbacks, or failures. While talent and intelligence are valuable, they alone don't guarantee success. What truly sets successful people apart is their ability to keep moving forward in the face of adversity. Persistence doesn't mean blindly pushing through with no regard for the obstacles. It means continuing to try, learn, and adapt, even when things aren't going according to plan. It's about having the resilience to keep going and the belief that you will eventually find a way to succeed, no matter how many times you stumble along the way. One of the key elements of persistence is having a clear sense of purpose. When you know why you're doing something, it's much easier to stay motivated, even when things get tough. Purpose provides the fuel to keep going, even when the journey seems long or uncertain. Whether you're working toward a career goal, a personal development milestone, or a creative project, having a strong sense of why you're pursuing it can make all the difference. Consider the story of James, who had always dreamed of opening his own restaurant. He had a passion for cooking and knew that owning a restaurant was his ultimate goal. After years of saving money, researching, and planning, James finally opened his restaurant. But the first year was harder than he had expected. There were countless challenges: staff turnover, financial setbacks, and even issues with the building's plumbing. Many nights, James lay awake wondering if he had made the right decision. He thought about quitting, but something inside him kept pushing him forward. James had a deep sense of purpose that reminded him why he started this journey in the first place: his love for food and his dream of creating a place where people could enjoy great meals. Despite the setbacks, James kept working, learning from his mistakes and adapting his business. After several years of persistence, his restaurant became a beloved spot in the community, and his hard work paid off. James's story is a powerful reminder that success isn't always a straight path. In fact, most success stories are full of bumps, detours, and setbacks. But what sets those who succeed apart is their refusal to quit. It's not about getting everything right on the first try. It's about having the tenacity to keep going, learn from your mistakes, and adapt to the challenges that arise. Persistence also requires patience. It's easy to want immediate results, especially when you're working hard towards something important. But most meaningful achievements take time. Whether you're building a business, developing a skill, or working toward a personal goal, the process is rarely as quick or straightforward as we'd like it to be. Persistence means understanding that progress is often slow and steady, and trusting that each step you take brings you closer to your goal. Take the example of Sarah. a woman who had always dreamed of running a marathon. She was determined to reach this goal, but after several months of training, she hit a wall. Her body ached, and she felt exhausted both physically and mentally. At times, Sarah questioned if she would ever be able to complete the race. But instead of quitting, she kept showing up. Even on the toughest days, she started taking better care of her body, focusing on recovery and adjusting her training plan. Slowly but surely, Sarah's persistence paid off. She crossed the finish line of her first marathon, an accomplishment that felt even sweeter because she had stayed committed to her goal, despite the challenges along the way. Sarah's story shows that persistence is about more than just pushing yourself hard. It's about being flexible and adaptable, learning from setbacks, and not giving up when things get difficult. It's also about trusting the process and believing that, with enough effort and time, you will eventually reach your destination. One of the most important aspects of persistence is self-belief. When you encounter obstacles, it's easy to start doubting yourself and questioning whether you're capable of achieving your goals. But the truth is, most of the time, you are more capable than you give yourself credit for. It's not about being perfect or getting everything right. It's about showing up, doing the work, and believing that you have what it takes to succeed, no matter how long it takes. Consider the example of Michael, who wanted to become a writer. He had always loved writing, but he struggled with self-doubt and fear of failure. He had written several manuscripts in the past, but each time he submitted them to publishers, they were rejected. Michael felt disheartened and questioned whether he should even continue writing. But after some time, he realized that his passion for writing was stronger than his fear of failure. He started writing again, this time with the mindset that the process was more important than the outcome. He focused on improving his craft, rather than fixating on success or rejection. Eventually, Michael's persistence paid off when his manuscript was accepted by a publisher and his first book was published. His journey wasn't without challenges, but his belief in himself and his unwavering persistence made all the difference. Now, think about your own life. What are the goals you're working toward? Are you feeling discouraged because progress is slow or setbacks have occurred? Reflect on the times when you faced challenges and continued to push forward, despite doubts or difficulties. Remember, persistence doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties. It means facing them with a mindset that refuses to give up. If you keep going, adapt, learn from your mistakes, and trust that each step forward is a step closer to your goal, you will reach your destination. Practical exercise. Think about a goal or dream that you've been working on. Reflect on any challenges or setbacks that you've encountered along the way. How have these obstacles affected your motivation? What can you do to stay persistent and keep moving forward? Write down 3 actions you can take this week to continue making progress toward your goal, no matter how small the steps may seem. Commit to taking one of these actions every day, and remind yourself that each effort is bringing you closer to success. Reflective question. How can you reframe challenges in your life as opportunities to grow and strengthen your persistence? What changes can you make in your mindset to stay focused and determined even when things get tough? Chapter 9. Cultivating a growth mindset. Embracing learning as a way of life. Have you ever faced a challenge that made you feel like you were incapable of improving? Maybe you tried something new and struggled to master it, and that struggle led to frustration or self-doubt. When things don't come easily, it's easy to believe that you're just not good enough, or that you'll never be able to get better. But what if I told you that the key to overcoming these feelings lies in your mindset? In this chapter, we'll explore the power of cultivating a growth mindset and how shifting the way you think about learning and failure can open up endless possibilities for personal growth and success. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence are not fixed, but can be developed through dedication, hard work, and learning from mistakes. People with a growth mindset see challenges as opportunities to learn and improve, rather than as indications of their inadequacy. They believe that with effort and persistence, they can become better at anything they put their mind to. This mindset contrasts with a fixed mindset, where people believe that their talents are innate and unchangeable. Those with a fixed mindset often shy away from challenges, fearing failure or the possibility of looking incompetent. The concept of a growth mindset was popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, who found that students who believed their abilities could grow over time were more likely to persist through difficulties and achieve higher levels of success. This belief in the power of effort and learning is not just limited to academic or intellectual pursuits. It can be applied to any area of life, from personal development to career goals to relationships. Let's take the example of John, a young man who struggled with public speaking. When he was first asked to give a presentation at work, he was filled with anxiety. His heart raced, his palms sweated, and he found himself thinking, "I'm just not good at this. I'll never be able to speak in front of an audience without making a fool of myself." However, instead of letting these thoughts control him, John decided to approach the challenge with a growth mindset. He reminded himself that public speaking was a skill that could be developed, not a talent he was born with. He started practicing in front of a mirror, recording himself, and seeking feedback from colleagues. He didn't expect to be perfect right away, but he focused on improving bit by bit, learning from each experience. After several months of consistent practice, John became much more confident in his speaking ability. While he still felt nervous before presentations, he no longer viewed his nerves as a sign of failure. Instead, he recognized them as part of the process of growing and improving. John's story illustrates the core idea of a growth mindset. It's not about avoiding challenges, but about embracing them as opportunities to learn and grow. When you view each obstacle as a chance to improve, you're less likely to be discouraged by setbacks. Instead, you'll see them as stepping stones that lead you toward mastery. The more you practice, the better you get. And the better you get, the more confident you become in your ability to tackle new challenges. One of the most powerful aspects of a growth mindset is the ability to learn from failure. Failure, while uncomfortable, is one of the greatest teachers you can have. People with a growth mindset understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth or abilities. It's simply a part of the learning process. Each failure teaches you something valuable: what works, what doesn't, and how you can improve moving forward. Rather than fearing failure, those with a growth mindset welcome it as an opportunity to learn and grow. When you shift your perspective on failure, you stop seeing it as something to avoid and start seeing it as a natural and necessary part of progress. Take the example of Sarah, who tried to start her own business but faced several setbacks along the way. Her first product launch was a failure, and she lost money. Her initial instinct was to give up. However, after some reflection, she realized that she had learned a great deal from the experience. She had discovered what didn't work, and that knowledge would help her make better decisions in the future. Instead of viewing her failure as a sign that she wasn't cut out for entrepreneurship, Sarah used it as an opportunity to refine her strategy and improve her business model. She took the lessons from her failure and applied them to her next launch, which was far more successful. Sarah's story shows how a growth mindset allows you to turn setbacks into lessons and move forward with renewed determination. Developing a growth mindset isn't always easy. It requires a shift in perspective and a willingness to embrace discomfort and uncertainty. However, the benefits are immense. When you cultivate a growth mindset, you become more resilient, more open to learning, and more capable of achieving your goals. You begin to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities for self-improvement. One way to begin cultivating a growth mindset is to reframe your self-talk. Pay attention to the way you speak to yourself when faced with a challenge. Do you tell yourself, "I can't do this," or "I'll never be good enough"? If so, try replacing these thoughts with more empowering statements such as, "I can learn this," or "I'm not there yet, but with practice, I will improve." By changing your internal dialogue, you reinforce the belief that growth is possible. Another powerful tool for cultivating a growth mindset is to celebrate progress, not just results. Often we focus so much on the end goal that we overlook the small steps we've taken along the way. Instead of waiting until you've mastered something or achieved your goal, take time to recognize and celebrate the progress you've made. Whether it's a small improvement, a new skill learned, or a challenge overcome, acknowledging these wins reinforces the idea that growth is happening, even if it's not immediate. Reflect on a recent challenge you faced. How did you respond to it? Did you view it as an obstacle to your success, or as an opportunity to learn and grow? How can you shift your perspective in the future to embrace challenges with a growth mindset? Take a moment to write down one area of your life where you would like to cultivate a growth mindset. What steps can you take to begin viewing setbacks as learning experiences rather than failures? How can you celebrate your progress, no matter how small? By incorporating these practices into your daily life, you'll begin to shift the way you approach challenges. With a growth mindset, you'll see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth, learning, and ultimately success. As you embrace this mindset, you'll realize that there are no limits to what you can achieve. Chapter 10. Living with Purpose. Creating a life of meaning and fulfillment. What does it mean to live with purpose? For many, this question can be difficult to answer, especially when life feels like it's moving too fast or when the path ahead isn't clear. In a world filled with distractions, responsibilities, and uncertainties, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters to you. However, the key to living a fulfilling life lies in understanding your purpose and aligning your daily actions with that purpose. In this final chapter, we'll explore the importance of living with purpose, how to discover your own sense of purpose, and how to make it an integral part of your daily life. Living with purpose means that you're not just going through the motions, but actively creating a life that reflects your deepest values, passions, and goals. It's about having a sense of direction, feeling that what you're doing matters, and knowing that your actions are aligned with something bigger than yourself. A life of purpose is not necessarily about grand achievements or external recognition. It's about finding meaning in your everyday choices and knowing that you're contributing to the world in a way that feels authentic and fulfilling to you. The first step in living with purpose is discovering what truly matters to you. This can be challenging, especially when you're constantly bombarded with external expectations or the pressure to conform to societal standards. But when you take the time to reflect on what brings you joy, what values you hold dear, and what kind of impact you want to have on the world, you'll start to gain clarity on your unique purpose. Your purpose is personal to you, and it's often found in the intersection of your passions, your strengths, and the ways in which you can contribute to others. Consider the story of Emily, a woman who spent years working in a corporate job that she found unfulfilling. She had a steady paycheck and a respected position, but she often felt like something was missing. She enjoyed helping others, but never had the time to volunteer or pursue the activities that made her feel alive. After some soul-searching, Emily realized that her true passion was in teaching and mentoring young people. She wanted to make a positive impact on their lives and help them navigate the challenges of adulthood. Rather than waiting for the perfect moment, Emily decided to take action. She started by volunteering at a local youth center in her free time. Slowly, she transitioned to a part-time teaching role, and eventually, she was able to leave her corporate job and pursue her passion full-time. By aligning her career with her purpose, Emily found deep fulfillment and meaning in her daily life. She discovered that living with purpose doesn't necessarily require drastic changes overnight. It often begins with small, intentional steps toward what truly matters to you. Living with purpose is not only about knowing what you want to achieve, but also about how you choose to approach your day-to-day life. Every action you take, whether it's the way you interact with others, the work you do, or the way you spend your free time, can either bring you closer to your purpose or pull you further away from it. By living with intention and aligning your choices with your values, you create a sense of fulfillment that isn't dependent on external circumstances. Take the example of Jason, who felt disconnected from his job as a graphic designer. He was skilled at what he did, but he didn't feel like his work was contributing to something meaningful. After reflecting on his values, Jason realized that he cared deeply about sustainability and environmental conservation. He decided to redirect his skills toward designing for companies that focused on eco-friendly products and services. By aligning his work with his passion for sustainability, Jason found a new sense of meaning in his career. Every project he worked on felt more purposeful, and he felt energized by knowing that his work was contributing to a cause he believed in. Jason's story highlights how living with purpose often requires a shift in perspective. It's not always about making dramatic changes. It's about aligning your actions with what matters most to you. Whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal endeavors, living with purpose means being intentional about how you live each day. It's about asking yourself, what do I want my life to stand for? How can I contribute to the world in a way that feels true to who I am? As you reflect on the concept of living with purpose, it's important to consider how you can bring more intention into your own life. Are there areas where you've been going through the motions without fully aligning your actions with your values? Are there passions or interests you've been neglecting because of external pressures or fear of failure? Take a moment to reflect on what truly matters to you. What brings you joy? What makes you feel alive? What kind of legacy do you want to create? At the end of the day, living with purpose isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about making small, meaningful choices every day that bring you closer to the life you truly desire. Even when things don't go as planned, or when life throws unexpected challenges your way, having a sense of purpose provides you with the clarity and resilience to keep moving forward. As you conclude this journey toward developing a positive mindset and living a fulfilling life, remember that purpose is the guiding force that will keep you grounded, motivated, and inspired. Embrace it, nurture it, and allow it to lead you toward the life you are meant to live. Practical exercise. Take some time to reflect on your own purpose. Write down the answers to the following questions. What values are most important to me? What activities or causes bring me the most joy? How can I align my current life with my deeper sense of purpose? Take one action, no matter how small, that brings you closer to living with intention and purpose today. Conclusion. In this book, we've explored the transformative power of developing positive habits for personal growth. From overcoming self-doubt and building confidence to embracing patience, persistence, and a growth mindset, each chapter has provided you with the tools and insights needed to create lasting change in your life. By applying these principles, you can cultivate a mindset that empowers you to take bold steps toward your goals and build a life filled with purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. Remember, personal growth is a journey, not a destination, and the habits you build along the way will shape the person you become. Thank you for taking the time to read this book and invest in your personal development. If you found the content helpful, I encourage you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more empowering content to support your growth journey.